Hi, Ben here, and welcome to the workshop for another Work in Progress Wednesday. Sorry it's a bit later than normal, but unfortunately Lois has managed to hurt her back a couple of weeks ago, so I've been having to work in the workshop and also keep an eye on Lois as well. So she apologises for not being able to make the most of Monday video the last few weeks, but hopefully she'll be on the mend and she'll be back in the workshop and producing some videos for you. So yeah, we've been in the workshop when I've not been a nursemaid to Lois. I've been working on some new projects. Quite exciting this week because we had a delivery of some new steel. So we had some big sheets of AEB-L stainless steel arrive. Now I've been waiting for this for a couple of months because I could only get 3mm thick AEB-L in the UK, so I've actually asked the guy to get the thickest that they produce it in, which is 3.5mm thick, and that is to try and produce Orford EBAM parangs, but in a stainless steel version. Now I'm kind of excited about this because up until now we've only been able to offer them in the carbon steel, which is totally fantastic and really hard wearing and obviously very tough, but a few guys are struggling to keep them rust free if they're going into very, very wet environments for extended periods. So being able to offer a stainless version is a great option, but we were trying to find a steel that would still have all the same characteristics that we look for in our carbon steel. So 80 CRV, which we use for the parangs at the moment, is incredibly tough as well as easy to sharpen, so I was looking for something in the stainless category that would be the same. So AEB-L is known for its toughness as well as its stain resistance, so I think this is going to be a really good option for us. So we had some big sheets arrive, so it was a question of actually processing them into our sort of simple blanks before we can make them into our parangs. So some of you might have seen I did a post on Instagram, so I'm CraftLab Knives on Instagram, and a few people commented about how I was cutting these pieces of steel up. I've got my big bandsaw here, this is my jet bandsaw, and they were also asking me what blades I was using to actually cut steel, because I think a lot of people think that bandsaws can only cut wood or plastics and things like that, so we thought it'd be a nice time to actually show you what I bought and what I use in the workshop really. So this is a fairly big commitment, it's a big investment. I looked at this machine because I wanted a little bit of versatility. So this jet bandsaw is actually able to cope with wood and metal and brass and other materials because it's got a built-in gearbox and it's also got step pulleys inside it. So we've got effectively 6 speeds on this machine. So we can change the feet per second, so how fast the blade is moving, and also change the blade that we actually use on the bandsaw. So you can use standard carbon steel blades for cutting wood, plastics, acrylics and things like that. If you want to cut harder material, for example steel and things like that, you might want to use what we call a bimetal blade. So that's a slightly more specialist blade that is designed purely for cutting hard steels and hard materials. The main thing that you have to be careful of is that you run it at the correct speed, because if you put the correct blade on and you're running it still very fast like you would for wood cutting, you'll just strip all the teeth off the blade and you'll be back to square one. So correct blade, correct speed, and also you want to look at the correct, what we call TPI, which stands for teeth per inch. Now if you've got very coarse teeth that you'd use for ripping big planks of wood down, if you use that type of blade on steel, again you'll strip all the teeth off the blade itself. So for cutting steel up to about 3.5mm thick, I find that a tough TPI of about 10 to 14 teeth to the inch will work well. And I'm actually running this at its sort of medium speed, which is actually 40. And now this is meters per second, so 40 meters per second, and that's slow enough that it will cope with this blade and this steel, and it works really well. So yeah, the great thing about this bandsaw is it's single phase, so if you're working in a normal garage or in your normal workshop, you haven't got to worry about buying a machine that's 3-phase power and having to get inverters and converters and stuff. So a single phase machine, and like I say, it's easy to change the blades, the doors open, you can change the tension, and this is where we've got all the stepped pulleys in there. So like I say, we've got 3 sort of pulleys on the actual main body of the bandsaw, and then 3 pulleys on the actual motor drive itself. So yeah, very easy and simple to change. The other reason why I looked at this particular machine is it's got a very nice big what we call throat, so the distance between the blade and the actual body of the bandsaw, so you're not restricted for how deep a piece of material you can cut. It's got proper roller bearings as guides. That means that the blade stays very true and very accurate. Very easy to move up and down, so you keep the distance between the table and the actual bearings as narrow as possible so that the blade doesn't drift. And it's brilliant in the fact that I can run up to an inch wide blade on this. So for resawing timber, if I want to resaw a plank to get very accurate blocks for handle scales, things like that, I can run very wide blades, and I can run right down to a 1/4 inch width blade. So if I'm cutting very tight curves and things like that round handle scales, it'll cope with that as well. So yeah, really impressed with this bit of kit. I've had this for probably 4 or 5 years now. I know that they've changed the design slightly now. They're not white anymore, I think they're silver. But yeah, really versatile bit of kit really. And if you're cutting timber with it, this is the other thing that I like about it, is a very nice, big, accurate guide here as well with measurements, so I can resaw all my crook knife handles and blocks of wood ready for my handle scales and stuff like that. So yeah, really good bit of kit. Simple blades, so either the carbon steel blades for wood, and like I say, bimetal for actual steel cutting and things like that. So yeah, we'll just take you around the back and I'll show you that that gearbox. So yeah, very simple. You've got these actual 2 speeds, so you just push this handle in and out for either cutting steel or for wood. So with those 3 pulleys inside the actual motor and this little gearbox as well, yeah, we end up with those 6 speeds. So just got to check that you don't run out of oil in this actual gearbox as well. Other good thing about it as well, it's got a nice big dust extraction port on it as well, so if we are cutting lots of timber we can have the extractor running and we're not going to have any problem with too much dust in the workshop. So yeah, really happy that we're actually getting some of those AEB-L parang blades cut out this week. And yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy a little bit of information about this particular tool. We're also going to show you a few of our other tools in the workshop, so check out future videos for other pieces of equipment that will either be useful for up and coming knife makers, whether you're into furniture making or into just general furniture making and craft in your garage really. So yeah, check out those videos. So if you like this kind of video, subscribe to this channel, and if you want to watch what we're doing on a daily basis, then please remember to check out our Instagram feed. So I'm Craft Lab Knives, Lois is Craft Lab Leather, but obviously she's going to be a little bit crook for the next couple of weeks, so bear with us on that front. But yeah, hope you enjoy the video and tune in next week.